Kolhapur is very famous for its lavangi mirchis. Well, with lavangi mirchis, I'm making a very special delicacy which is Kolhapuri chicken. This is the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. The most critical part of this recipe is making the Kolhapuri masala and getting that right. So let's begin with that. The first thing that goes in a pan is a little splash of oil. I'm going to heat the pan on moderate heat. I'm thinly slicing an onion. And this goes straight in the hot oil. Fry this on absolute moderate heat. Make sure they turn nice and golden brown. At this stage, I'm adding the garlic, just roughly giving it a bash. And this goes straight in the pan. Now if you've noticed, the color of the onions have become deep brown. This is exactly how I want this. I'm reserving this in a bowl that I've placed here. Now this is the bowl in which I'm going to keep collecting each and every individual spice that I'm going to roast and toast. So the next thing that goes in is desiccated coconut, just a little oil, and we toast this again till it becomes nice and light brown in color. Make sure this does not get burnt. The coconut has also changed its color. It's looking nice and brown. This also goes in this bowl. In the same pan, again a little oil, and here goes in the lavangi Kolhapuri mirchi. While these chilies are getting toasted, make sure your windows are wide and open or your exhaust fan is on, or at least make sure your door is open because this is going to be really very stuffy. So beware. So here the chilies are done. This also goes in this bowl. I'm following this up with again a little bit of oil and this time coriander seeds. Once these become nice and toasted, follow this up with the chilies and coconut mixture. Give it a mix so that it starts cooling quickly. Next, what goes in the pan is again a little bit of oil along with fennel seeds, cumin seeds, black peppercorns, and fenugreek seeds. Give this a mix. While making these authentic masalas, it is very important to follow the recipes to the core. Well, the detailed measurements are there in the description box below, so do not forget to follow them. Another very important thing in this recipe is, if you notice till the coriander, we sauteed and broiled everything individually. Well, but these masalas, since their cooking time is similar, I'm doing all of these together. Along with this, I'm also adding in the sesame seeds, white poppy seeds, and some cinnamon. So I'm just roughly cracking this, and this can go straight in the pan. Make sure these masalas do not burn at any stage. It has to become nice and fragrant. This masala is also ready. Off goes the flame, and this masala goes in with the other spices. Give this a nice mix. Let it cool down completely to room temperature. This mixture has cooled down completely. I'm going to grind this now. Along with this, I'm going to add in a little bit of salt, turmeric, and tamarind. Run this into a very smooth and fine paste now. Just to help this grind further, I'm going to add in a little bit of water. Now here you have this beautiful aromatic Kolhapuri masala, which is ready. Now that our Kolhapuri masala is ready, let's begin with cooking the chicken. For that, I'm going to heat the pan and add in a little bit of oil. Now that the oil is moderately heated, I'm adding in our ready Kolhapuri masala. Make sure you nicely saute this spice mix till the time it starts releasing oil on the sides. While this is getting cooked, I'll be adding in some finely chopped tomatoes. You have to cook this till the tomatoes become nice and soft. Just to help the tomatoes cook further, I'm adding in some water and allow this to boil. by the time this is cooking, I'm going to marinate the chicken with some salt and some turmeric. Give it a nice mix and allow this to just sit for 5 to 7 minutes. By that time, the curry will also be ready. Next, I'm adding in the marinated pieces of chicken and along with this, some water to adjust the consistency. Give this a nice stir, cover this and cook it for 12 to 15 minutes till the time the chicken is nice and soft. Let's check the chicken for its doneness. Well, that looks nice. Well, now finally, I'm adding in some fresh coriander leaves. Just chop them roughly. This goes right towards the end because I do not want it to discolor. Finally, chicken Kolhapuri is ready to serve. A sprig of fresh coriander for garnish. So here you have this beautiful aromatic chicken Kolhapuri ready. Do try it at home and do let us know how you like it. This is the Bombay Chef. Wait for what next I get into your kitchen.
Hello and welcome to Masala Trails with me Smita Dev on Get Curried. In the olden days, dhabas would serve rustic and authentic food to weary travellers. This time while I was travelling to Dalhousie, I had a halt at Amritsar and we decided to have a lovely sumptuous meal in one of the local dhabas. And to our astonishment, me and my friends were served with an amazing dish made with keema and mutton chunks, which was called the Rara Mutton. And this recipe I have to share with you. So today, let's make the Rara Mutton. To make this delicious Rara Mutton, let's heat 4 tablespoons of ghee. The ghee has melted. Let's add 2 bay leaves. And I'm going to add to this half a kg of mutton. And I'm going to saute this for 5 minutes on a high flame. The reason to fry this mutton on a high flame is that the juices and the moisture of the meat gets retained in the meat itself. To this, I'm going to add 250 grams of minced mutton. And I'm going to again saute this for 5 minutes. To this, I'm going to add 1-inch ginger that has been crushed. I'm going to add 12 pods of crushed garlic and just mix this well. Remember to keep the flame high at this point of time. Now I'm going to add 5 onions finely chopped. Mix this well. The onions have become translucent. Now we're going to add a garam masala which I have made using green cardamoms, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg and black peppercorns. I'm going to add this. Again, fry this for another 3 to 4 minutes. This recipe has a lot of frying at regular intervals. This is a must to make your dish really delicious. To this, I'm going to add 4 tomatoes finely chopped. And now again I'm going to fry this for another 5 minutes. To this I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoon of chili powder, coriander seed powder, and I'm going to again saute this for another 5 minutes. We need to saute this till the tomatoes become nice and mushy. The flame is still on a high. And now I'm going to add 250 grams of yogurt. You can add normal curd also to this. Again saute this for another 5 minutes. To this I'm going to add salt. Mix it well. Now I'm going to add a cup of water to this. Now I'm going to cover and cook this till the mutton is done. Put the flame on a medium and let it cook for 10 minutes. Basically, we pressure cook this mutton for 10 minutes. That's about 3 to 4 whistles. Now the pressure is released. Let's see if the mutton is cooked. This fragrance is awesome. Our mutton is ready. You can make this now in your own kitchen and relish it. Do try this recipe and let me know. For such tasty and interesting recipes, subscribe to Get Curried.
Hello darlings, welcome to another episode of Curries and Stories. Today I'm going to make something really yummy and it comes from the sister land, Sri Lanka. It's Sri Lankan fish curry as taught to me by my friend Annie's cook, Sunil. So first of all, let's marinate the fish. Now I've got about half a kilo of tilapia here. You can use any firm white fish or fish with bone or crab even and prawns. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of turmeric powder over it and squeeze some lemon juice or lime juice, whatever you've got. Let's give that a stir. According to my friend Annie, you add turmeric to the fish just to remove any impurities and also just to enhance the colour in the final curry. So that's done. Now let's crack on with the base. So hob on. Now I'm going to use some coconut oil. If you can't get any coconut oil, please feel free to use my favourite ghee. I'm going to add that in, a couple of tablespoons. Now this gives it a lovely fragrant coconutty flavour, reminding me of that beautiful island, Sri Lanka. Now into this I'm going to add some black mustard seeds. Just let them crackle a little bit. Cinnamon stick. I'm going to add some pandan leaves. Now these are available any southeast grocery shop or even in the supermarket. Pop some of those in. Handful of curry leaves. Crackle, crackle. And now I'm just going to put in the onions. I've got a chopped onion which is finely chopped. Now cook that out. Now into that, a couple of teaspoons of some ginger garlic paste. Finely chopped tomatoes. The tomatoes are breaking down. I'm going to add some turmeric, some salt to taste, add a bit more later, a little bit of chili powder. So now I'm going to add into this some homemade jaffna powder. Now this is what they use in fish curry in Sri Lanka. Now to make this, so what we dry roast, some fennel seeds, some fenugreek seeds, cumin, coriander, mustard seeds, and some black peppercorns, cloves, green cardamom, some very fragrant cinnamon sticks, some pandan leaves, and some curry leaves. Now the pandan leaves and the curry leaves you dry roast last because they don't take so long. And then you grind them all together and you get this beautiful dark roasted masala called jaffna powder. So this is what we're going to put in next. Give that a stir. And I'm going to add some red chilli, just one red chilli. Not too spicy, but it gives a nice colour. Now into this I'm going to add some freshly grated coconut. Pop some of that in, lovely. And now just to thin it out, I'm going to add a touch of water to thin it out a bit. And at this point, I'm going to add some tamarind pulp. This will give a really nice sour twang to it. So we just let this cook out for about 5 minutes before we add coconut milk. I'm just going to add some coconut milk, and this will completely change the flavour. And now I'm just going to add all of my fish, even with all the juice that's come out and the lemon. And then you stir it through and let it simmer. Don't stir the fish too much. We're just going to let that poach with the lid on for about 5 to 7 minutes or until the fish is cooked. Now, obviously, if you're using fish on the bone, it'll take longer. If you're using crab, again, as big as your crab is how long it'll take. So we'll just leave that to simmer and then we'll come back to it. Right, let's have a little check. It smells fragrant. It just smells like my friend Annie's house when I'm arriving early in the morning and Sunil's got me fish curry and coconut rice ready. Now to serve. So there you go, guys. My delicious, fragrant Sri Lankan fish curry. A little hello to the sisterland. Enjoy.
Hi guys, welcome to Get Curried. This is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, and today I bring Nargisi Kofta into your kitchen. Nargisi Kofta, for the uninitiated, is nothing but Indian version of Scotch eggs. Scotch eggs are basically boiled eggs which are encased in either a potato mixture or a mince mixture. Today we are going to do the traditional Nargisi Kofta in which the eggs are encased in mincemeat. So the first step is to begin with hard-boiled eggs. So I'm putting some water to boil, adding in a little bit of salt, and what goes in next is washed eggs. Placing them in water. Now for this we need hard-boiled eggs, but make sure you do not overboil them. When you overboil, basically the yolk, which is yellow in color, gets a ring which is grey in color, which is nothing but ferrous oxide, which is poisonous. So make sure you boil eggs to perfection, 6 minutes to 7 minutes, and you get perfect hard-boiled eggs. Now by the time the eggs are boiling, let's chop an onion. Since these onions are going to be part of the meat mixture, we'll make sure these are chopped as finely as possible. Now that it's been 7 minutes, I'm removing these eggs and I'll be letting them to chill for some 7 to 8 minutes before we start peeling them. Now, let's begin with making the mince mixture. So I have some meat mince, so I'm taking that in a bowl. Next goes in chopped onions, chopped chilies, ginger garlic paste, a little bit of garam masala, salt, and a little bit of refined flour. Well, now to this mixture, I'm adding in a little bit of egg, just whipping that a little, and just dropping in a little bit of this. There we go. I'm going to retain this because I'm going to use this later. Now I'll start mixing this. Well, traditionally, you use mutton mince in this. But however, if you want, you can also use chicken. So that choice is ours. Now that the mince mixture is ready, let's check if the eggs have relatively cooled down. Well, we don't want it absolutely cool. So we can now start peeling these. Now that the eggs are boiled, peeled and ready and the mince is ready, I've placed some oil here on medium heat, and this is for the koftas to fry. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of this mixture. So I've taken like a large spoonful of this kofta mix, just pressing this a little, and place this egg right in the center and encase this entire thing. Well, if you want to make this encasing easier, you can just dip your hands in some water and just try and get all of this evenly together. Like this, we start making the other koftas. Now that these koftas are ready, now comes the frying part. So just dabbing a little bit of flour is because this now goes into the beaten egg. Remember, I had asked you to keep that aside. So here is now this kofta going into this egg mixture, and now this goes in the oil. So similarly, I'm going to fry the others. The Nargisi koftas have to be fried on a very low flame to begin with, because you don't want them to initially just brown, because what will happen is they'll become nice and crisp on the outside and remain raw within. So keep doing it on a very low flame to begin with, Then we'll increase the flame slightly and just make sure it becomes nice and golden brown on the outside. Now that these are fried and ready, I'm transferring this onto a tissue paper, which is now going to absorb all the excess oil. Now for the gravy, let's take in some oil. I'm using onion puree so that the gravy is nice and smooth. And the first thing that goes in is the puree. Next, I'm adding in some ginger garlic paste. Next goes in tomato puree. Now that these tomatoes are cooking, we let them cook slightly more. And next that goes in is some whipped curd. And next I start adding in the masalas. So the first thing that goes in is some salt, garam masala powder, turmeric, and red chili powder. Give it a nice mix and we cook till the oil starts leaving the sides of the pan. Now that oil has released the sides of the pan, in goes the kofta. And a cup full of water. Now that this is ready, let's begin with the plating. And finally, what goes in is some coriander. So here you have the Nargisi kofta ready. Do try it at home, do like, do subscribe, do spare a moment and also leave in a comment. And wait for what next the Bombay chef gets into your kitchen.